Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. As Celeste very nicely introduced I am Jess. I am part of the international UK team, and today I am going to be discussing everything pollution with you. Now, you may be sitting there knowing quite a lot about pollution already, which, if that is you, I really encourage you to share throughout the chat box. Or you may be sitting there kind of not knowing anything, and that's absolutely fine as well. Today, we're going to talk about everything pollution, because this is really, as Celeste said, a topic that is now trending and something we need to be talking about and considering more, and how it is impacting us on a daily basis. So something is in the air. It is alarming. It's having a lot of extra research being done into pollution at the moment. So whilst I'm going to share a lot of information with you today, this information is forever changing. They're constantly doing new studies. They're constantly doing lots of new research and clinical trials. So keep your eyes peeled for new information that comes around in the arena of pollution. But anything that I can answer for you today, that is definitely what I am going to be doing. Now, as professional skin therapists, it's really important that we understand pollution, so that as these conversations come around for our clients, it's something we can easily understand and explain and help our clients with. So the way in which we're going to proceed through our webinar today is in 3 sections. The first section, we're going to take a look at the insights and the research behind pollution. So to give you a little bit of background information about why it's a concern, where I'm exposing myself to pollution, how it's impacting me on a daily basis. And then we're going to take all of that research and our better understanding about pollution, and we're then going to talk about how pollution can negatively impact the skin. And what's really interesting, and what we'll delve into a little bit more detail, is actually regardless of your main skin concern or your main skin challenge, pollution can be playing a role in pretty much everything. So we're going to take a look at each individual skin concern and see how pollution fits into it. But of course, we're not going to leave you high and dry. We are going to then round up in our third and final section with taking a look at some pollution solutions. So how we can limit the negative impact pollution can be having on our skin, and how we can successfully treat it at home and potentially within the professional treatment arena as well, to really ensure our clients are getting the best results. So let's start then by taking a look at pollution in general. And I think the screen, I'm sure you all agree, I think the image on the screen really just represents how our world is slowly becoming, unfortunately. Pollution, as we've said, it's trending. It's a talked about topic. We often hear about global warming. I know at the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic, there was how the pollution had improved because everybody was staying at home and there was less planes and traffic and everything going on. So pollution is a topic that's ever evolving. But I've got a statistic for you, and I wanted to start with this to just kind of put you all into perspective about how pollution is affecting us. So the World Health Organization have found that 91% of us, so that's pretty much everybody, is living in a place where air quality guidelines exceeds the limit that the World Health Organization suggests. So that means that all of us pretty much are living in an area that is affected by pollution. Whether we realize it or not, whether our skins realize it or not, it is something that we are all being challenged with. But of course, some of us will be more challenged and some of us will be less challenged. Now, for years, our industry, the skincare industry, the beauty industry in general, has been very select with how we produce our ingredients, how we manufacture our ingredients, how we dispose of ingredients and products that have been created. However, maybe what we haven't been so efficient on is how pollution and how that's affecting our skin. We're just thinking about our contribution rather than how it's directly affecting us. And that really inspired today's webinar. is to think, yes, we know it's happening, but now I want to know how it's happening to me. What is happening to me and my skin on a daily basis? And it is down to us as professional skin therapists to have a better understanding. So I wanted to bring up this map. Now, this is a real-time map, which I have screenshotted, but we can, of course, provide you with the link if needed. And you can see the pollution mapped out on the map as indicated on the chart below. So the darker the hexagon, I think that is, the worse the pollution is within that area. Now, looking at this map, it may become as no surprise that the areas that are highly populated have got more pollution. So you can see, that's brilliant, Priscilla, we'll get you that link. So you can see that comes as no surprise to all of us. In Asia, we can see that the pollution is much worse, but again, that's not a new research or new topic to us. But it's important that we understand that where we're living is really going to be indicating the pollution that we're exposing ourselves to. Now, another little fact, and again, this really hit home to me when I learned this, again from the World Health Organization, they released that 7 million people a year die from exposure to pollution. Now, that is massive, 7 million people. So again, it's highlighting something to us that maybe we haven't considered before, that pollution is out there, it is affecting us, and we need to be doing something about it. Now, Professor Jean Krupman, she works in the Research Institute in Germany. She was actually quoted saying that UV, so damage from the sun, was really the topic in skin protection for the last 20 to 30 years. And now I think that air pollution has the potential to keep us busy for the next few decades. And I'm sure by the end of our time together today, you are also going to agree. Our clients are finally starting to understand that they need to be wearing an SPF every day. They understand that it's an invisible threat, that maybe it's the UVA rays contributing to some of their skin damage and skin concerns, and they're starting to wear an SPF. And now we're going to bring a whole new topic to them in the form of anti-pollution skincare. Now, anti-pollution skincare is really being led by our colleagues across in Asia. And of course, looking at the map, we can understand that a little bit more. In fact, they say that 1 in 3 products sold in China is classed as anti-pollution. And I'm sure the rest of the world is going to follow with that trend as this gains more traction. Now, for us at the International Dermal Institute, this isn't new information. You may remember a few years ago, we launched in partnership with Dermalogica and Brizometer, the Skin Pollution Widget. Now, the Skin Pollution Widget is a live, real-time pollution widget, which is going to track your location and tell you the pollution levels in your area at that time. So what I would like you to do is I would like you to grab your phones or onto your laptop, iPads, whatever it is, and I want you to type in www.skinpollution.com. It's going to take you straight there, and I want you to pop in your current location, and I want you to see what is the pollution like for you right now. And then I want you to type your number into the chat box for me. I'm going to grab my phone and I am going to do the same and take a look at my current location. We'll see who of us has got good pollution today, maybe moderate or good, and who of us, if any of us, have got a very high risk. Okay, perfect. So seeing that come through. So 18, very low from Rebecca, 36, so getting higher there. Okay, oh, so far so good. Everyone's on the fairly moderate side. I'm at 21, so Sally and a couple of Georgia, you must be close by from me. Oh, wow, Denise, 62. Okay, so is that classed as high risk or very high risk? 25, 44, that's high. Okay, amazing. Brilliant. So we can see from that many of us have a moderate risk to pollution today. A lot of us have high risk, and then we have very high risk. So Linda there's just put 146. Linda, just confirm to me, is that 146 or was that 46? Because if so, I think that is the highest I have ever seen, and I would love you to share exactly where you are, because this is probably going to be even more relevant to you if you have a pollution reading of 146. Now, you can do this at any time. This widget is available 24/7. Oh, wow. Okay, so it is 146. So thank you very much for sharing. That's incredible. So this is available 24/7. You can, yes, thank you, Celeste, with the fires, and you would have seen that on your Los Angeles one as well. And we're going to discuss that in a little bit more detail about fires and everything in a moment. But you can track this, and this is going to give you a better conversation starter when you're talking about pollution to your client, because you have that physical proof there now. This is the pollution in our area right at this moment. So now we know that there's a demand, we know that there is pollution around us. We need to start thinking about where this pollution is coming from. So we can see many different sayings on the slide there. So let's just explore those in a little bit more detail. Now, pollution's coming from all around us. Of course, we've got the obvious forms of pollution from like factories, from cars and traffic, from the fires, as we've already spoken about, whether they're kind of man-made or natural fires, power plants, paint, cleaning chemicals, all of this is forming pollution. And you can see some of the more technical names featuring on the slide there as well. So our nitrogen oxides and our sulfur dioxides are highly reactive gases. They're the ones that give off that quite nasty smell, often like a car fume or a power plant. You can smell it. That would be your nitrogen oxides and your sulfur dioxides. You've then got your volatile organic compounds. These very easily become vapor. They're coming from burning fuel, solvents, paints, gases. And then we also have a polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. And these are coming from oil, gasoline, smoking, like cigarette smoke, and then wood smoke as well. So these ones could be occurring naturally, and of course are impossible really for us to be controlling our exposure to. But these are the different types of pollution that are out there and that are impacting to us. Now again, thinking about all of these different pollutants that are out there, none of them are maybe new information to you. You know that, you know, wood fires and cars are going to be causing damage to our skin. And this is really where I want to inform you and educate you a little bit more, is around the topic of particulate matter. And you can see that right in the centre there. Newer research has identified a new type of pollution called particulate matter, and we do call it PM for short. Particulate matter is anything that forms a particle in the air. So, for example, a natural forest fire would release smoke into the air, therefore that would be classed as particulate matter. Now, the hardest thing for us to understand with particulate matter is most of it is almost invisible to the naked eye. So I want you to just think now that we are in the lovely Los Angeles, and we are walking down the beach in our swimsuits. It's a lovely hot sunny day, what I would do to be there right now. And as we're walking, we're feeling the sand between our toes, and we can feel the wind in our hair. And the reason I say that is because particulate matter comes in different sizes. 1 grain of beach sand comes in a 90 micron. So that's the way it's measured. So a micron is 1,000th of a millimetre. It's absolutely tiny. So one individual grain of sand is 90 microns in diameter. And then we're thinking about our wind in our hair, and one individual strand of hair measures between 50 and 70 microns. So kind of putting that into perspective, that's really, really small. So then we think about particulate matter. Particulate matter is measured in two sizes. We have our PM10 and then we have our PM2.5. So we could fit 5 PM10s across one individual hair. So we're talking so tiny we can't even see it. And just think how many PM2.5s that we would feature over one strand of hair. So that's what we're talking about. So let's relate that a bit more to skin. The average pore size is around 50 microns. Oil and sweat will trap particulate matter into the pore. This could be 5 PM10s, this could be 50 PM2.5s. And this is the problem. Particulate matter is our enemy when it comes to when we think about pollution and the skin. It's so tiny we may not notice it in there. Well, we definitely won't notice it in there. We won't see it within our skin. However, our skin knows it's there, and our skin can start to develop skin concerns due to this particulate matter. Now, you may be sitting there thinking, oh, it's fine. We've been in lockdown. We've been in lockdown in the UK for about 7 months. We're not really going out. It's fine. I'm at home. I'm not exposed to pollutants. However, unfortunately, you are very wrong. In fact, there are 2 to 10 times more pollutants in your home than there are out walking around. Now, again, absolutely crazy when you think about this, and hopefully it's getting everything thinking. Yeah, thank you for sharing. OMG, I couldn't say it better myself. So where are the pollutants in the home coming from? Well, of course, we could have the window open, and that could be inviting their air from outside in, of course, standard. This could also be coming from like a wood burning fire or a wood burning stove that you may have. It's coming from paint. Anybody been doing some DIY in lockdown? We definitely have been, and paint, that is going to create particulate matter and pollutants in the home. Maybe you're cleaning all the time like I am, constantly cleaning up after my fiance and my son. I'm cleaning, I'm spraying chemicals around to make sure everything's clean, keep coronavirus out. However, again, that's more pollution that's in my home. And then, of course, we have like burning of toast. That's created smoke. That's more pollution within your home. You may have animals. Again, that's going to bring more pollution in the form of hair. We're naturally shedding loads of skin cells. Again, more dust and pollution within our home. So we're not safe at home from pollution. Like I said, 2 to 10 times more pollution indoors than outdoors. And in fact, 6 out of 10 homes are hazardous to the occupant's health. So again, absolutely crazy to think that we are being exposed to pollution without us even realizing it on a daily basis, even when we think we're safe. So again, I want kind of you to imagine once again that you are now at the cinema. And you're sitting at the cinema, you're waiting for the film to start, and you see that beam of light come down from the top. And in that beam of light, you can see all those little flecks of dust just floating around. Maybe it's coming through the window in the morning. Now, you can all picture this, I'm sure, but what you maybe can't picture is that for every fleck of dust that you see in that beam of light, there are 1 million particles that you do not see. I'm just going to give you a moment to just kind of ponder that thought. I'll repeat. For every visible fleck of dust, there are 1 million invisible particles. Priscilla's put it nicely. Yuck. Yeah, yuck. Okay. Pollution is invisible. it is impacting us without us even realizing. And it's something that we need to make sure that we are communicating, educating, talking to our clients about, and of course providing them with different pollution solutions so that they can limit the damaging impact that this pollution can be having. So now I feel like we've got a really good overview of pollution, how it is affecting us. We have particulate matter, we have all the gases, and pollution is impacting us inside and outside. So of course, now let's relate this to the skin. So when we take a look at this diagram, we can see that the sunlight is cooking that nitrogen oxide, those sulfur dioxides, those polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, is cooking all of those. And research has now confirmed that there is a direct link between UV radiation and the development of these pollutions. And then of course we've got all those particulate matters, the PM10 and the PM2.5. So all of those are around us, we've discussed. But all of these pollutants have the ability to damage the barrier of the skin. Now, if they're damaging the barrier of the skin, we know as professional skin therapists that this causes a whole cascade of problems. If my barrier has become impaired, I have less protective mechanisms. If I have less protective mechanisms, the pollutants are going to be able to more easily enter into my skin. But by more easily entering into my skin, the more problems I'm going to be seeing occurring onto my skin, and the more help I'm going to need with controlling these concerns that are arising. Now, pollutants are entering into the skin. They then have the ability to, of course, cause inflammation and sensitivity. But what else do you think that they could be causing? So I want you to type into the chat box for me. What else do you think pollution can be causing into our skin? So definitely inflammation and sensitivity. Okay, amazing. So straight off the back here, we've got aging, premature aging. Good. Eczema, brilliant. Dehydration, love that. Pigmentation. It's not amazing, but it's amazing. But thank you for sharing. Definitely dehydration, pigmentation. So let's click through. Good. Perfect. So collagen, breakouts, inflammaging. We're going to discuss all of these in a little bit more detail. Hyperpigmentation. Oh, bear with me 1 second. Premature aging, as we've said, wrinkles, brilliant. Thank you so much. Breakouts, dullness, and dehydration. So all of these concerns can be made worse by pollution, but can be there because of pollution as well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at the 5 key skin concerns that can be impacted, caused, made worse by pollution. So we're going to take a look at inflammation, of course, sensitivity. We're going to take a look at aging, we're going to take a look at hyperpigmentation and breakouts, and we're going to take a look at free radical damage as well. So let's start by taking a look at free radical damage. Free radicals is maybe a new term to you. For others of you may be more familiar with the term of free radicals, but I'm going to explain it to you. Free radicals is an unstable molecule. It is unstable. It is looking for something to stabilize itself. By stabilizing itself, it means that it attacks important structures, therefore creating a cascade effect and causing more problems within the skin. Example, I need 2 hands today to work properly. However, one of my hands has just fallen off due to pollution. Now I'm looking at Celeste, I'm eyeing up her hand, I'm thinking, looks very nice. So I'm going to steal Celeste's hand. Now I'm stable again, I'm fine. However, Celeste now only has 1 hand. Celeste is going to look at Jade's hand. She's going to say, I like that hand, and she's going to take hers. So now Celeste's stable, but Jade isn't. And now we're going to have a cascade effect. One of us will constantly be looking for a new hand. We're constantly going to be trying to stabilize ourselves in order to stop free radical damage. Now, free radicals are coming from pollution. Our skin is equipped, or one form of free radical comes from pollution. Our bodies are equipped to deal with a certain amount of free radicals. However, with the amount of pollution that we are now exposing ourselves to on a daily basis, our bodies simply can't keep up. And this is when we start to see damage. Now, our free radicals can stabilize themselves in multiple different ways. They can stabilize themselves by attaching to skin cells, but this could cause skin sensitivity. They could attach themselves and stabilize themselves to skin oils. Again, this is going to cause sensitivity, dehydration, dryness. They could attach themselves to a melanocyte cell, but then that's going to stimulate the melanocyte cell, causing excess pigmentation. Excuse me. It could also be attaching itself to collagen, elastin, which of course is going to lead to aging or premature aging, as we've discussed. So free radicals need to be neutralized. We are going to discuss it in a moment, how we neutralize them, but I'm sure you're already kind of shouting at me through your computer, antioxidants. Antioxidants is one way in which we can neutralize our free radicals. I'm going to take a look at those a little bit later. But free radicals are causing a whole cascade of damage to our skin, and they need to be stopped in their tracks. So damage from pollution, from free radicals, from particulate matter can also lead to sensitivity. So as I showed you on the diagram previously, these gases, particulate matter, have the ability to damage the skin's barrier. Once the barrier has been compromised, the pollutants can then more freely enter the skin. And we know as professional skin therapists that anything that freely enters into the skin is going to be seen to the skin as an invader. When my skin believes there is an invader, it triggers an inflammatory response. This is when we start to see redness, we start to feel stinging and burning onto our skin. Maybe our skin feels quite hot to touch. In addition, we send our inflammatory agents and our mediators to the area. They take the most direct route. This means they cut through all the collagen and elastin. In addition to all of that as well, we also get a pigmentation response because our Langerhans and our melanocyte cell are interlinked. So when one's triggered, the other's triggered. So when pollution invades into our skin, it not only triggers an inflammatory response, but it triggers multiple different skin responses that will all leave us with a negative effect. So we're starting with inflammation today, because if I can ensure that my skin is strong, I'm going to be able to more effectively fight off pollutants. If I can ensure that my barrier is not compromised, again, I'm going to be able to more effectively fight off pollution and not be left with that redness, that stinging, that heat, that burning sensation on my skin. I also just wanted to kind of link two things together for you. Many of you previously may have done a class in like Chinese facial analysis and what that could mean. And actually in Chinese facial analysis, the heart and the respiratory system are the cheeks and the nose. And this is often an area that we see sensitivity within our skin, is the cheek and the nose. So again, that kind of links the two together then again for us. So we can really see that our skin is in that constant state of attack from pollutants, and it's something we need to be doing to limit. So it's now that we move from inflammation into inflammaging. This terminology of inflammaging was produced by the International Dermal Institute a few years ago now. to show the correlation between inflammation and aging, premature aging onto the skin. So as I said, whenever we get an inflammatory response, our inflammatory mediators and our inflammatory agents come straight to the area to help target and fight those invaders that are coming in. By doing this, they take the most direct pathway, which means that they cut through the collagen and elastin, the support structure of our skin. They also can damage the hyaluronic acid and the hydration of our skin as they're taking that direct route. This then leaves us with premature aging, because if collagen and elastin has been damaged, my skin isn't going to have the support structure it needs, and we start to see the development of fine lines and wrinkles. So inflammation and aging are so closely interlinked, but do our customers understand this? Do they know that if I have inflammation and sensitivity and pinkness onto my skin, that this could age me quicker? And as we're constantly fighting the battle to look young as possible all of the time, and for everybody, this is something they definitely need to be educated on. They need to be educated on it, but then they need to be educated in how pollution is also going to be triggering inflammaging within the skin there as well. Now, not only does fine lines and wrinkles and a breakdown of collagen and elastin make us appear older than we are, so does hyperpigmentation. In fact, hyperpigmentation can add up to 12 years on your perceived age. And as I said, whenever we get an inflammatory response, we also get a pigment response as well. So this can trigger hyperpigmentation within the skin. Now, as many of us know, hyperpigmentation is one of the most challenging skin concerns for us to be treating. And previously, we may have considered hormones and UV exposure and medication and a whole host of other things that could be triggering our hyperpigmentation. But have we made the link between hyperpigmentation and pollution? Now, in a study that was conducted in Germany by a group of dermatologists, they found an increase in soot and particles from traffic, so directly from traffic, was associated with a 20% more age spots on the forehead and cheeks. So again, I'm going to give you a second. So 20% more age spots appeared on the forehead and the cheeks from a direct link from traffic pollution. Crazy. So if our clients are living in a busy car city like London, like New York, to name a few, then this is something that we definitely need to be sharing with our clients. In addition to that, particulate matter 10, so those PM10s that we discussed earlier, have been proven to increase pigmentation by 8%. Now, you might think, oh, 8%, that's not that bad. But it is. We don't want to increase any form of pigmentation. So particulate matter increases pigmentation by 8%. So this is something that we need to be making sure our clients are aware of and are doing their best to limit the damage that the traffic, the soot and the particles from traffic and from particulate matter can be impacting our skin. Another link between pollution and hyperpigmentation has been being studied for quite a while now. But a newer area that's now being researched is the link between pollution and breakouts. So this is still in its infancy. I don't have all the answers for you today about pollution and breakouts, and I would really encourage you to just keep researching online as more information and studies become available for you. But one study, a Chinese study, reported that participants living in an urban area reported sebum levels twice as high than those that are living in less polluted areas. Now, again, that's crazy. As professional skin therapists, we all know the negative impact that pollution and that sebum can be having on breakouts. We all know that sebum within the cell is going to cause breakouts, congestion appearing within the skin. And if pollution has now been directly linked to causing 2 times more sebum within the skin, again, this needs our attention, this needs our understanding. In addition to that, the same study also highlighted that 67% of respondents agreed that acne prevalence increased with rising pollution levels. So again, the more pollution in the area, 67% of people agreed that acne got worse, got more when they were exposed to high levels of pollution. So again, this needs our attention. We don't have all the answers today, but it's something that is ongoing, and we're going to keep our eyes peeled for more and new information that's coming about. Now, another kind of avenue I wanted to explore with you with pollution and breakouts was also the impact of particulate matter. First, previously we spoke about particulate matter, and we spoke about the grain of sand, and we spoke about the hair. And then we spoke about the pore. Now, a pore measures around 50 microns in diameter. This means it can fit 5 PM10s or many, many more PM2.5s within the pore. Now, add to that, the oil and sweat are within that pore. This means they're going to stick with the particulate matter and create not only a congested skin, but a toxic congested skin. We know that when we have sebum, sweat, pollution stuck within the follicle, we're going to see congestion, blackheads within the skin, but then it's going to trigger those P acnes into activating and then causing more pustules and papules within the skin as well. So again, this link is still being researched, but again, it has been proven that particulate matter is contributing to an increase in breakouts. So when we take a look, we've taken a look at insights and research, and we've taken a look at how pollution now affects so many different skin concerns. We of course need to be thinking about how we can improve the skin, how we can support the skin, how we can prevent pollution having such a negative impact. And this is when we take a look at different pollution solutions. Now, the first thing that we need to do when it comes to effectively treating pollution is acknowledging that it is an invisible threat. Pollution is out there, it is impacting our skin in a negative way. Dr. Mervyn Patterson, who is a cosmetic doctor, says with traffic pollution emerging as the single most toxic substance for the skin, the dream of perfect skin is over for those who are living and working in a traffic polluted areas, unless they take steps to protect their skin right now. If people don't start to take action about preventing pollution damage to their skin, they will end up wearing the pollution on their faces in 10 years' time. It's definitely something people now need to be taking seriously. And I'm sure for some of you, this conversation is very similar to that of UV 20 to 30 years ago. Pollution is damaging, and we don't want to see it on your skins in 10 years, but it's down to us to start educating our clients. We need to make them aware. We need to make them aware of what they can be doing at home. Now, the first step to achieving a healthy skin is, of course, by washing it. And that's when we start to think about double cleansing. Many of us as professional skin therapists are probably double cleansing our skin morning and evening, but how many of our clients are double cleansing our skin morning and evening? We first need to be cleansing with an oil. An oil is going to remove not only makeup and dirt from the skin, but an oil will also remove pollution from your skin. This then means that our second cleanse can be much more effective. A powered up second cleanse, so a use of an electric tool at home on the skin as well as your second cleanse, is going to go that one step further and ensure that our skins are super clean. Now, the International Dermal Institute did some research, and they found that the average person spends less than 20 seconds a day cleansing their skin. So whilst for us it may seem the obvious choice that we need to be double cleansing our skin on a daily basis, this may not be so obvious for our clients. So what I would like to show you now, I'm just going to stop sharing the screen for a second, is our lipstick demo. So I am going to draw onto my arm some lipstick, not the shade I've got on today, but some lipstick. And I want us to take a look at how a single cleanse is not effective. So I have got some cleanser, my second cleanser here. I'm going to be working this over. You can see it's removed some. It's not removed a great amount. And I'm still left with a red mark on my arm. Fainter red mark, but it is still there. So if I then take an oil-based cleanser, I'm just going to make sure my hands are dry before I do this, and I apply this to my second bit of lipstick there, we can see almost instantly it's lifted it and removed it from the skin. So we're going to work that over. We're going to emulsify. Really important when using oils for all skins that we emulsify and then we wipe it off. And we can see that we have effectively really moved the makeup, dirt, pollution that was just here a moment ago from my skin. Now when I go back ahead with the second cleanser I used up here, I'm going to really effectively get a clean on my skin, rather than just removing the dirt, the pollution that was sitting there a moment ago. So that really quick way is going to demonstrate to our clients just how impactful a double cleanse can be, and how that double cleanse really needs to have oil as one of the steps. Bear with me, just going to bring my slide back up. Brilliant. So double cleansing, it is important. It is something we need to ensure that our clients are going to be doing, not only because of how effective it is, when oil to our skin is also very nourishing. It's going to restore the barrier lipids, and it's going to help to calm and soothe any redness from breakouts or sensitivity within our skin there as well. Remember, we do also have like a balm to oil cleansers that we could be using. They're again going to be great for that double cleanse and to ensure that we can effectively remove any dirt, makeup and pollution from the skin. So double cleansing, it's important. I'm just going to bring my chat box back up so I can see what all of you are sharing. Okay, amazing, thank you. So double cleansing is super, super important. It's something we need to be doing every single day, twice a day. But something else we need to be doing daily to ensure that we can have maximum effect on our, bear with me, sorry, I've now lost my chat box again. Okay, I can't see what anybody's saying now, so apologies. But something else that we need to be doing on a daily basis is exfoliation. An exfoliation a day keeps the pollution away. I love this saying because it is so true. Now, we know that exfoliation is going to speed up cell renewal. By speeding up cell renewal, I'm going to encourage those younger, plumper skin cells to come to the surface. This is going to help with my barrier. It's going to help to restore the skin. It's going to help with hydration, pigmentation, aging. the list of benefits to exfoliation is kind of unprecedented with how many improvements it's going to be bringing to the skin. In addition to that, exfoliation is also going to ensure that any anti-pollutant products that I apply to the skin afterwards are going to be able to penetrate much, much better. If they can penetrate much better, then I'm going to get greater results. And again, this is definitely something we want to see. So we have many different ingredients available to us. We have lactic acid, known for its exfoliation, brightening properties. We have our salicylic acid, known for its exfoliation and anti-inflammatory properties, as well as being oil-loving. And then we have our enzymes, which are much gentler and which are going to help to deeply cleanse and exfoliate the skin. But of course, whilst I'm saying everybody should be exfoliating every single day, it is down to us as professional skin therapists to assess each individual client's skin and decide, is every day okay for them, or do they have a contraindication or severely sensitive skin where it wouldn't be ideal? So you would need to, of course, use your professional caution. But exfoliation is a great step to effectively be treating pollution. Now, another way that we can be treating pollution, another solution for you, is detoxifying the skin. And this is where we take a look at the difference between absorption and adsorption. So I want you to all imagine you've got a bowl of water in front of you and you pop a sponge into that bowl of water. The process of which one thing absorbs or is absorbed by another is called absorption. So if I put my sponge in my bowl of water, it's going to suck up all the water. This is absorption. On the opposite, adsorption is the process by which a solid holds molecules onto a surface. So now into that bowl in front of you, you've got loads of paper clips. You hold a magnet above those paper clips, all the paper clips are going to be attracted to the magnet. This is adsorption. They're both going to detoxify the skin. They're both going to help with some of the challenges that pollution can bring, but adsorption is more where we want to be when it comes to pollution treating. So let's take a look at the key ingredients. We are very familiar, hopefully now, with these key ingredients. On the right-hand side, we have clay. Clay has been used within skincare formulation for centuries, for years and years and years. It's found in wash-off products such as cleansers, exfoliants and masks, and it's going to absorb any excess oils within the skin. It's going to remove dead skin cells, it's going to refine, it's going to also help to clear congestion, so particulate matter that may be sitting within the follicle there. There's two main types that we use in skincare. We've got bentonite clay, which is known as the clay of 1,000 uses. It stabilizes and purifies the skin. And then we have our kaolin clay, which is the white powder you see on the screen there. This is known for its oil absorbing properties. So that would be how we absorb. We then take a look at our charcoal. Our charcoal is a way in which we will adsorb. Charcoal, activated charcoal, is one of the hottest ingredients in the skincare industry right now. Charcoal, so we're not talking about the type that you find in your garden on the barbecue, we're talking about activated bintrichin charcoal, has the ability to adsorb pollutants from the skin. So activated bintrichin charcoal is heated at a very high heat and then cooled rapidly, and this forms micropores. This increases the surface area of the charcoal. So into perspective for you, 1 teaspoon of activated charcoal has the surface area of 10,000 square feet. So massive. So a little does a lot when it comes to activated charcoal. That's why it's one of the hottest ingredients right now. That's why on my Instagram, maybe on your Instagram or your Facebook, whatever it is that you're using, we're seeing lots of adverts for charcoal water and charcoal toothpaste and charcoal skincare, because it is one of the hottest ingredients, but it does have meaning behind it. It is incredibly powerful at adsorbing pollutants and toxins from the skin. So both of these would be found in those wash-off formulations, and both would be a way in which we can be detoxifying the skin. So far through pollution solutions, we have discussed cleansing, exfoliating, and detoxifying. And now we come into replenishing the skin. We come into nourishing the skin. And pretty much every serum, moisturizer, SPF that you're going to be applying to your skin is going to have antioxidants within it. Antioxidants are going to come to the rescue of any free radical damage. So if we just take a look at the slide, we've got our skin cell, the happy cell. It's sitting there, it's doing its job. We've got the free radical, which is the bad guy, and he's coming to unstabilize and activate the skin cell into going a bit crazy. Antioxidant is the good guy. It's going to save the day. It's going to neutralize the bad guy before it can attack our skin cell. Antioxidants, the list of antioxidants is endless. They are going to neutralize free radicals. And as we've said, we are exposed to so many pollutants in free radicals. We need a lot of them. And that's why we see it in our toners, in our eye creams, in our moisturizers, in our serums, because we need them. Now, one of the hottest antioxidants available to us at the moment is vitamin C. I'm sure you are all very familiar with vitamin C and just how potent it is. In fact, vitamin C is one of the most potent antioxidants available. But not only is vitamin C an antioxidant, it also targets premature aging, it firms and hydrates the skin, and it brightens the skin. So it's a really good multifunctional ingredient that we want to be using on as many different people's skin as possible because of its multiple benefits. But of course, it's linked to pollution as well. So antioxidants, they're in every single step, but maybe what you're not doing is targeting inflammation. You may say, why do I need to target inflammation when my skin doesn't have any signs right now of sensitivity? My cheeks aren't red, my cheeks aren't hot. Why do I need to be targeting inflammation? Well, as I said before, with this constant attack of pollutants onto the skin, it's really going to put our skin into a vulnerable state. And if we treat our skin and target inflammation on a daily basis, it's going to increase the threshold of our reactivity. It's going to ensure that our skin is stronger. By having a stronger skin, it's going to be more resilient to pollutants that are attacking it on a daily basis. So even if you don't have any form of sensitivity onto your skin, I would highly recommend that you target inflammation. Now, you can do this by a number of ways. We could be soothing the redness that you've got with ingredients such as acetyl tetrapeptide 15, by using ingredients like red hogweed and chamomile, ginger, oats. They're going to help to reduce the redness. Alternatively, it may be as simple as introducing a facial oil. A facial oil is going to nourish, it's going to replenish the skin, it's going to restore the barrier lipids, it's going to support the barrier function of the skin. Maybe it's that one step further, and maybe it's the use of a silicone. So restoring it and supporting the barrier so that the barrier can work more effectively once we stop the support of a silicone. So there's many different ways in which we can be treating inflammation, but it is super important that all of us are treating inflammation on a daily basis. So this means that we want to demand more from our serums, but we want to be demanding more from our moisturizers as well. We want them to potentially have more nourishing oils to treat my inflammation. We want them to have maybe soothing the redness properties to them, sorry. But also, we may want them to have an SPF as well. We want them to be packed full of antioxidants. And possibly, we even want them to be preventing adherence of pollutants. So I want you to think that you are now back on that beach, walking through the sand. You've got your flip-flops on this time, and your flip-flop gets stuck on a piece of chewing gum. And now you've got chewing gum stuck on the bottom of your flip-flop. Now, if we had prevented adherence, it would mean that no chewing gum, no matter how much I stepped on, is going to be able to stick to the bottom of my flip-flop. And that's what we also want to be demanding for our moisturizers. We want to be using an anti-adherence complex. We want to be using niacinamide. They're going to prevent adherence of pollution to my skin in the first place. And if I prevent adherence, again, it's going to ensure that I'm not getting the negative damaging effects that pollution can be having. So these are multiple different pollution solutions that are available to us to be doing. I would highly recommend that you do all of these for yourself, but you recommend all of these steps for your clients, and of course in varying degrees based on how the pollution is in their area, based on your research through that skin pollution widget that we looked at the very beginning of our session. But of course, lifestyle tips can't go amiss. Not smoking or not exposing yourself to smoke or vaping, because again, this would be a pollutant. Boosting your antioxidant intake through foods and juices. Carrying a protective antioxidant spray that you could be spraying, especially when you're going into a very busy city or somewhere you know has high pollution levels. Wear protective clothing where possible. We are all currently, definitely in the UK, I'm sure everywhere else as well, wearing masks everywhere we go. So again, this is going to limit the impact that pollution can be having on us as well. And my challenge to all of you is to wake up tomorrow or today, because some of you have only just got up, double cleanse your skin, detox your skin, prevent adherence, reinforce your protective barrier, and supercharge your antioxidant protection. And that is how we are going to effectively reduce the amount of negative impact that pollution can be having to our skin. So I am now going to invite Celeste back up to answer and share with me any questions that you may have. If you've got any questions now that you'd like to ask me, then please pop those into the questions or the chat box as well, and I will be more than happy to answer those for you.
Yay! Thank you so much, Jess.
No worries.
Perfect. That was fantastic. Such awesome information.
Good,
so what we are going to do is I do actually have 2 questions in the Q&A. So the first question from, and I apologize if I don't pronounce your name right, Rusu, is I heard many times that there is no such detox for skin, as the skin cannot detoxify. Is there organs that actually does that as well? This is a marketing tool now, and they're confused. So let's dive a little bit deeper into the detoxifying.
Yeah. So our skin is will naturally eliminate and detoxify itself. And that's why we can see kind of breakouts and congestion appearing onto our skin, because our skin will naturally detoxify itself. What we're talking about here is we're talking about like our magnet. So it's coming along and it's detoxifying and collecting any pollutants that may be damaging our skin. So I'm not quite sure, maybe she could share a link or some more information about maybe where she's heard this, but remember you said is our organs that actually does that, but the skin is an organ. The skin is the largest organ of the body, and it does have that natural process that will happen, and ingredients that we're using at home will support that as well.
Very true. Okay, second question.
Yeah.
What about cleansing twice with the same cleanser, or cleansing and then using a micellar water and then a toner?
Yeah. So I think it really depends on the brand in which you're using. We would always suggest using an oil and then a second cleanse. The reason being is that the oil attracts oil. We've probably all heard that saying before. But by oil attracting oil, it's going to ensure we're going to get a deeper cleanse that then our second cleanse will do. Yes, by cleansing twice with the same cleanser will be effective, but using an oil and then a second cleanser will be more effective. And when we think about the treatment of pollution onto the skin, we want to be as effective as possible. A micellar water is going to be working very similar as a first cleanse. So again, I would encourage you to do your own research. I would encourage you to test out the lipstick test like I did today, trying it with like an oil-based cleanser, trying it with a micellar water and seeing which is more effective. And then you can make your own personal decision on what your preference is. I would highly encourage you to be using an oil, but also for the nourishing properties an oil can bring to your skin as well.
Thank you so much. That was an interesting question because I hadn't heard about that stuff either. So the micellar water and, understanding everything. And really the best thing to do as a skin therapist, I think, is really testing to see what works for you too. Understanding ingredients, understanding products, and understanding the skin. And you can kind of be your own mad scientist of understanding how to use things to best work for you in your skin treatment room.
Definitely.
So that's a great recommendation.
Yes, I love it. Anything else? Any other questions that we are?
I did not see any others in respect to today. Rusu said, I've seen a few dermatologists and a few posts talking about detox. Yes, the skin can actually eliminate sweat, but not from your lymph. So just some more kind of information about the detoxifying and everything. We want to thank you so much, Jess, for all of your time and your info. I'm going to say farewell to everyone, but before we do, I did want to let you all know that I know Jess brought up a really great topic that I love. It's one of my favorites, and it's Chinese space reading or Chinese space analysis. And we're very excited to be having our next industry expert webinar on that subject. And we're actually holding that in November. It's going to be on November 12th. You can actually sign up for it now. We just put it in the system. So we're very excited with that. And that's actually going to be featuring Judy Patton, which is one of our master instructors here in the United States. So that was perfect timing. Thank you, Jess, for bringing that up in your presentation, because it just seamlessly fit into what we were talking about next month. Not planned at all. But we just wanted to thank you so much, Jess, for your time. This really is an awesome... Yeah, it's an awesome, it's a packed full of so much information. And I think everybody, when you get a moment, rewatch this again and just kind of digest even more of what Jess is talking about with, absorption versus absorption, like all of these different things that I know somebody said that was like the easiest way of explaining it, because most people don't understand that it's actually two different things. They sound very similar, but two different things. So it's very, very cool information. We really appreciate your time. And thank you, everyone. You were a great audience, as always. Some really fun information. And hope to see you guys in November. Thanks, Jess. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.